In this video, let's talk about getting ideas for new plugins and testing them to see whether they are good.
This video is brought to you by EpiPies Academy.
And the first thing I'll say is don't go after like the main plugin industries. For example, like if you want to make an SEO plugin, okay, but you should know that there's already Yoast SEO plugin, which is absolutely the dominant one, and it's a relatively liked plugin, so you don't want to compete with liked giants. That's the core mistake not to make. You can compete with hated giants, but you have to identify what they are. Usually a plugin is popular because it's liked. So in the main uses of plugins like site speed plugins, SEO plugins, top affiliate marketing plugins, top plugins for creating landing pages, you don't want to create a plugin in those spaces because there's already a dominant giant and it's going to be too hard to get attention. So you want to go into niches, and ideally some niche that you already are working in. And you can go into like Facebook groups or LinkedIn groups around those niches and begin to start discussing what the problem areas are for people in those communities who are already also working in those niches. First of all, you'll know probably what the problem areas are, and the community will certainly also give you additional ideas or reinforce your original ideas, and you'll get a sense, oh, like let's say you're in some B2B niche and there just isn't something for you and nobody's created it yet, and you're like thinking, oh well, it's a niche, there isn't a dominant player, and is it relatively doable? If it is, that's a good candidate for creating a plugin for it. So whatever you are working in, that's the first good niche to look in. You can also look at the reviews of popular plugins and look at the bad reviews, see what people are complaining about, and that might give you ideas for what are spaces that are underserved. What do people want that they're not getting? Those are going to be clues for you. And you can also look for new developments in the technology or internet space or your space that you're working in now. Because when SEO was new, which was ages ago, that's when it was great to make a plugin for SEO. Now it's a little late perhaps, but maybe there is new developments. For example, now live video, like everything is live now, right? YouTube Live, Facebook Live, Instagram, there's even this TikTok thing. So like live platforms are beginning to be really popular. Can you create a plugin that maybe like live streams to your site or something like that, right? Because that's new and it's not something people are aware of, they don't know, so you can become the dominant one. When everybody is streaming everything, they're using your plugin, and your plugin is like the household name. And that's what you want to look for, those spaces now that you can get into that are getting hot. And what should your plugin do? The most interesting things are when it, of course, benefits people somehow, saving time, saving money, make something easier, make something more correct, automate something and make it faster. Those are usually the top things that software helps people with. And those will be things like, okay, you see a problem out there in the world. Can you create any of these kinds of enhancements to that current problem? Because these are typically things people pay for and use often. And of course, when you network in your communities and overall ask people for their current pain points with solutions that they're using now, those pain points are opportunities for you. If you solve them, probably those pain points occur not just for the people you ask, but for many, many people like them. And that is typically a market that you can enter with a plugin. So those are all ways to get plugin ideas. Probably the first and foremost way would be to understand the niche space you're currently involved in or working in, because you already understand the problems in it and the nuances of that space, and then build something for that because you already have a little bit of authority and knowledge and experience in that space, and you'll be more genuine when you're entering that space, promoting that plugin as well. So let's talk about now how to test your idea, because when you get feedback, it's very easy for people to say, oh yeah, it's great. And of course you can ask your friends and family. They'll give you some helpful feedback, maybe not all, because maybe they don't know the plugin space. And then you can ask industry experts. Maybe you can find them on those very same Facebook or LinkedIn groups. But it's very easy for people to tell you that it's good. what's nice about the WordPress plugin space specifically is that it's cheap to enter this market. You only have to spend a few $100s to create your plugin, which is not the worst risk to take. And in entrepreneurship theory, generally it's understood that it's better to make a cheap mistake and learn by doing rather than waiting around. And the plugin world allows you to make mistakes cheaply and learn by doing. That's what the space lets you do. So you can actually just get your MVP created. And even as the MVP, the minimum viable product, is getting created, put up a one-page site, basically just gathering emails, offering early access to your software, and people in your space, the ones you're supposedly helping with your plugin, they might be eager to try it out because they might actually get the kind of help they need. So you'll get your initial beta tester list that way. And you can also get additional traffic to it from your social medias, Facebook and YouTube ads. You can have a little tiny budget for Facebook or YouTube ads just to bulk up that email list of your beta testers. And then once you have your minimum viable product live, you can get your beta testers to begin using it and rapidly improving your plugin, generally to boost engagement at first, to actually get people using it time and time again and reusing it. If they're using it all the time and it is indeed helpful to them, then you've got a little product on your hands. You've just proven that it is helpful. The next step would be to add paid features to see, can it be helpful and would people pay for it? But essentially, this is the process of improving your product and at the same time actually testing out in the real world, which is infinitely more valuable than theoretical feedback, because theoretical feedback is fantastic, but there's a limit to what it can do for you. And of course, you want to have people stay on as beta testers long term, because you always are going to have these new releases of the software, make it better and better. And if you can give it to a set of beta testers, you can always get immediate feedback from them and actually monitoring the analytics of the usage. And you'll always know how to improve. And over time, you'll have a legitimate product that gives enough value that people pay for, and you have a business on your hands.